We should have brought the 308.
Yeah.
You could definitely use some sliding in. Okay, so
Oh yeah. So
in order to get our heart rate down from walking up here, we're telling, just short stories from, we can remember from hunting trips or whatever, and from growing up, and gets our heart rate down, then we can shoot. We can stay on the target. Go ahead.
so me and Papa, this is owned by our family, and on the other side of that fence is owned by somebody else. And I was hunting on the other side of this hill on the other side of the fence.
Well, the rock quarry's that?
Almost to the rock quarry, but not quite. But I was probably 75 from the road. The road's off to my right, 75 yards. And I've been watching a deer. He went into some brush down the hill from me, probably 50 yards away. It was muzzleloading season, so it's probably early November. And I've been sitting there, and I saw this deer. It was a spike, but it was a huge deer. And I've been watching him. Didn't have eyes on him because he went behind a tree or into this thicket. And I heard a car coming down the road real slow.
Like the main road?
Yeah, this road coming right down by the house, right.
So you're on the other side of that hill, right there. You're
Right.
Over. Okay.
Yeah. And the road's to my right, probably 75 yards to my right, but I could see it fine. I saw the car ease down the road, and it started slowing down even more. It came to a stop, pretty much, right in line with me. So if I was here, it's 75 yards down the hill that way. And I saw him sitting there, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I bet he sees that deer that I see. And around here, road hunters are pretty popular. There's old people who just drive around their car and drink all day during hunting season with a rifle. And so the deer walked out into my sight. I knew that he had to see him. That had to be what he was doing. And so the deer's down the hill straight from me. This car's over here to the right. So I took aim at the deer and shot before this guy in the road to get a chance. And it wasn't unsafe or anything. I wouldn't do it now probably. Back then I was probably 14 years old. And the deer took off, and the car took off too.
Okay.
And I ended up killing the deer. I hit it, and I had to shoot it 2 more times actually with a muzzleloader.
So it was your muzzleload season, muzzleloader hunting, and you shot it and hit it and had to track it?
Yeah. So I saw where it ran. It ran down towards the road and behind me, probably 75 yards, 100 yards maybe. And when I found it, it was leaning against a tree. And all I could see was its head. It was a spike, a huge spike. And
One of your first deer?
probably the first with horns, I'd say.
Interesting.
So I had a button buck and some does, probably in this deer. So then I shot at it again.
From a distance?
Pretty close, because he was, he'd been hit. He's in the process of dying, I guess, but I didn't want him to suffer anymore. So I shot again. And right at the road, there's a fence, on Marty's end. There's a fence there.
Barely.
He fell into that fence. And
the deer fell over the fence?
Into the fence, so the fence was keeping him from sliding down the hill.
Okay.
And he was still alive though, so I hit him again, right probably in between his, somewhere off his nose, back towards his eyes.
Okay.
I was trying to shoot him in the brain, and just hit a little bit to the left, I guess. I felt awful for him.
Did that turn his lights out?
Just about. I had to shoot him one more time. I'm sure I could have waited, but I don't want to lay there and suffer the whole time.
Should have jumped on him like you were trying to choke him out and stabbed him in the neck.
Papa told me about a deer he killed over here. He shouldn't have killed at the time. It was like a doe. He killed it over in the straw ridge here. And he was Papa Luther, and he shot it, and he went up to it to cut its throat so it'd bleed out. It was already dead, he thought. And it started squealing, like whatever sound a doe makes. And he didn't want anybody around to hear because it was illegal at the time. He wasn't allowed to kill a doe that day.
Okay, that's funny.
He says that he slit its throat and held its mouth shut the whole time.
That's Papa Luther, and he's dead now anyway, so you can tell that story.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were muzzleloader hunting, which I don't do. How long did it take to reload? Did you reload as you were tracking the deer, or did you have to stop and reload?
As soon as we shoot, we reload before we go find the deer.
Okay.
Shoot, see where it goes, and reload.
Were you alone in the woods, or was Dad with you somewhere?
Papa was behind me, probably 200-300 yards, so he didn't know at the time that I'd killed a deer, this car was down there or anything.
Okay. That's an awesome story.
I don't know if it was this particular time, but one of the first times we were muzzleload hunting, I shot a deer. I was with Papa, and I shot the deer. I heard it fall and start kicking around just over the crest of this hill. We were close to it. And I set my gun down, and I was about to reload, and Papa noticed I put the bullet in before the powder.
You
And,
put the round in
Yeah. But luckily I hadn't started down the barrel yet. He had a pair of pliers.
just out of carelessness, because you knew how to
I was
load
too
those
excited.
over there. Okay.
About this deer kicking around over there because I knew it was probably dead.
Okay.
And but you know you got to reload the gun first just in case
So you put
anything could happen.
You put the bullet.
Put the round in and took the first initial thing probably to it and just stuck it in just a little bit.
Okay. Huh.
And he had to stop me and correct me.
I didn't realize that you and Dad had hunted that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There's been other times where I started to do that. We keep the powder and the bullet all in one tube.
Okay.
Especially back then they didn't have like these 509 primers or whatever, 209 primers and the pellets that are powder. You
Okay.
had to pour your powder in and stuff.
Okay.
So back then there was times where I was so excited after I shot, I spilled everything out on the ground and had to get a new one.
That's
start
normal.
over.
Adults still, I know you were young, but adults still do things like that.
Yeah.
Buck fever.
It was fun though, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good little story. All right, how's your heart feel as you smoke that cigarette?
I think I'll relax enough now to do it.
You'll be dead in like 30 minutes from
I tried
smoking
with the
that cigarette.
AR-9 also, at 150
No
yards.
magnification, 150 yards.
Just
That's what I'm going to do.